Hi, traders. Hi. Welcome. Come on in, traders. I'm waiting for you. Let's do this. God, I'm so glad you can't see me. Oh, yes. It's been a while, but here we are again. Come join me. Chat with me live. Download the app, for Christ's sakes. Come on, let's do this. Put me in the palm of your hand. Hi, Al. How are you? Adrian, Near. I love it. Thank you. Thank you guys for joining. Thank you, Jose. I love it. Near from Israel. All the way from Israel. I love it. Where in the world are you others from? Okay, guys, welcome. Welcome to another broadcast of Live Trading Talk with Oliver Velez. My name is Oliver Velez, of course, and I am your trader for life. Well, here I am, guys, in the rather awkward position of having to apologize to you once again because I have not been able to actually conduct the show over the past 2 sessions, I believe, just primarily due to a very busy travel schedule and also due to some much needed downtime, which I did by spending 8 days in Cancun, Mexico with my family. Not only did I believe I deserved that, but more importantly, my family deserved it. They put up with a great deal with me and my work and accommodating everything that I do for actually you guys. And they deserved some downtime as well. So what I promised was that I would keep my work to an acceptable minimum. We certainly did not lose any time or lose any edge off of our trading, with the exception of one day there, but the radio show had to suffer a bit. But here we are, and I am back in the United States for a very short period of time, but I am raring and ready to go. I appreciate all of you who continue to support the show. We continue to grow in numbers. We continue to see positive comment after positive comment, praise after praise regarding the episodes that some of you have watched live, as well as those who have watched the archives. And those things warm my heart. They are the reasons that I actually take time to do these things. So each comment is read personally by me, and I truly, truly appreciate your support and the time you take to let me know that you are enjoying the episodes and the archives as well. Please know that if you download the radio show's app, that navigating the show is going to be a lot easier for you. You'll have the radio show in the palm of your hand. You'll be able to listen to any one of the many archived radio broadcasts while you're working out, or while you're taking a walk, or while you're driving in the car. You'll also be able to communicate with me directly during any of the shows via the chat feature in the app. It's a well structured app, and it's one of the best ways to experience all of the benefits that I believe a radio show like this can and does deliver. Now, please understand, if you are joining me for the very first time, this is a trading talk show. We focus primarily on the many issues that traders experience in their quest toward trading mastery. And we are not a show, or I am not a show, I should say, that is going to focus on current events, because current events quickly become non-current, become old news, become history. And the things we talk about here are not only universal in nature, meaning that they touch upon the lives of virtually every single trader in the world in existence, but these issues are timeless and will forever be relevant no matter what level you find yourself as a trader. So what I'm saying specifically is that whether you are a beginning trader or whether you are just starting, whether you've started this many years ago, this activity we call trading, whether you are a neophyte or even a master, I believe that many of the topics that we tackle here will still have some very important relevance to your specific level of trading and where you happen to be in your quest toward ultimate supreme mastery, which we know is forever a moving target and never a final destination. The growth that we experience as traders is something that will never stop. There is no static point in the future that upon arrival, everything stops. The horizon for us as traders continues to extend itself forward, and that's one of the most amazing things about this activity we call trading, as far as I'm concerned, because had this been something that you can truly reach the ultimate level in, I would have certainly gotten bored with this activity a very, very long time ago. So it is something that has vista after vista, horizon after horizon, goal after goal. And you will find that each one of your goals as you progress along the path toward trading mastery will become more refined, more ethereal in nature. At first, your goals as a trader are almost entirely monetary. And you spend a good portion of your initial years chasing the monetary goal, the dollar. And this actually works against the beginning trader and retards the beginning trader's progress. And it is only when the trader begins to change that goal a little bit, or a lot, I should say, is there a noted jump in one's progress or what have you. But we go through many vistas, and the horizon continues to move forward. As we go through the first few levels, we start to reach some of the more ethereal goals and objectives, such as mastering your emotions, remaining or maintaining a certain level of equanimity no matter what's happening around you, going to a simple state, an open state, not creating mental scenarios that become more important than the reality that's in your face, mastering who you are, keeping your own promises to yourself. All of these things at the beginning are not appreciated by the neophyte because they're simply after money. But money follows self-mastery. I made a post on Facebook just yesterday that I believe touches upon this very topic. I am constantly bombarded by people who say, Oliver, listen, I would love nothing more than to be part of your program, be part of your trading team, or to take one of your training courses. And I have to, when I'm able to financially, I will work on acquiring this skill. And it's absolutely backwards that they are looking to improve financially before the skill is required. So if I improve financially first, then I will invest in improving my skill level. But that's absolutely backwards. That the acquisition of a greater skill, a higher skill, is what produces the improved financial status. You can't wait for your finances to become right. All poor people throughout the world do that. All people who never really accomplish anything are waiting right now, this moment. They're waiting for something to fall into their lap before they do something to improve themselves. So when I get the money, then I will improve myself. When I get my raise, then I will improve myself. When my circumstances improve, then I will work on improving my circumstances. It doesn't even make sense. So the very people who never accomplish anything are those in this waiting state for something to change, when in fact, what has to happen is that at all cost, you must do what is necessary to gain something that automatically increases your or improves your circumstances. So skill is something that money finds. Money finds skill. Skill does not have to search for money. The most skilled plumber has all the business that he can handle. The most skilled trader doesn't have a capital problem. There are people lining up outside of his door wanting to give him their capital to trade. The skilled lawyer is not ambulance chasing. A heightened level of skill goes out into the universe and attracts what needs that skill. That skill becomes a neon sign for those who need that skill. And to simply wait for something in your life to happen to change your circumstances so that you can now go to work on changing your circumstances it doesn't make sense linguistically. It doesn't make sense from an intellectual perspective. It just simply doesn't make sense. And yet the vast majority of people out there are doing that. Our goals change as we progress in our trading journey. They go from that initial hardcore, I want to make money, to I need to change who I am, what I am, and the money will follow. And it is if the trader reaches that secondary state that they begin to see progress, because money follows your changes in who you are, in what you are, in what you do. Money is not in some far off place that you have to search for. It's inside of you. You can unlock money. And when I say that word, I'm actually using that word more metaphorically or symbolically for just simple opportunity. Abundance. Abundance is present. It is not in some far off location. It's that you are not putting yourself in touch with abundance or money. You are not doing the things that money or abundance responds to. And the acquisition of a skill, especially a skill that is relatively rarely acquired by the masses, something that most people can't do, That skill is the most important, and that skill will make you very wealthy. If you can do whatever is necessary to just acquire the skill, get the knowledge, get the training, get the education. No matter what you do, do not let anything stand in the way of that. And watch your life soar. All right, guys. I have a very, very fascinating topic today, and I have a confession to make before I delve into the topic. The topic is 3 things to stop doing right now, this very minute, this very second, to immediately improve your trading. Not with time, immediately improve your trading. 3 things that if you can stop today, it's your choice. Drop these 3 things today and watch starting tomorrow what happens. Now, in all honesty, I could not totally limit the list to 3 things. There are so many things you need to stop. So I artfully included more things than 3, but they're 3 broad categories that involve multiple things under those 3 categories that I need you to stop right now. And I am speaking to my traders all over the world as much as I'm speaking to those supporters who are not yet my traders. I am speaking to you as well, my dear traders. These things I want you to stop immediately. And let's make a decision to stop them today. Okay? Now, I have always been an advocate of the process that I call negation. We are a species who's constantly in search for something. We are in search for instance, the truth. Yet truth can't be obtained or found dynamically. It must be obtained or found through negation. What do I mean by that? It is easier to determine what truth is not than to find truth amongst what is not. So the process of negation starts not with your search for truth, but rather with your search for what is not true. The process of eliminating and then removing from the sea of items out there trying to grab your attention. So it is the process of not this, not that. It is the process of, well, I know this is not true. Eliminate that, cross it off the list, and remove it forever. And then go to the next thing. Well, I know this is not true. And you start off from what is obviously not the truth. And ultimately, if you keep going, you will finally arrive at truth, not dynamically. You will have not found it directly. You will have found it indirectly by eliminating everything that is clearly not it. And there it is. I've explained this process to my children by taking them to our big giant we have a big giant ceiling to floor window that overlooks our property. Very beautiful window. I often wake up very early in the morning and have a cup of coffee overlooking the sunrise through this window. And I, at times, to demonstrate this, will paint the window with a blue color or a black color. Something that I can easily remove. And I'll paint a section of the window. And I'll tell them, what do you see? I see a black window, Dad. Very clear, very clear. Okay? So, let's start removing the blackness, because we want the scenery And the scenery has not gone away. It's just obscured by the blackness. So we start removing what is not the scenery. And as we start removing the paint that is obscuring the scenery reveals itself. It didn't come back to us. We didn't find the scenery. We just removed what was blocking the scenery. And this touches upon my opening monologue about opportunity and money. Money and opportunity, they don't come to you. They're omnipresent. They're here right now in every particle of the air you breathe. Opportunity and money is right here. You don't have to go anywhere. You just have to stop doing the things that are obscuring the money and opportunity. You have to remove the paint that is blocking your view and understanding that it's right here. And it is the removal of things that causes you to so-called arrive. The journey is really not a journey. It's staying in place and removing what needs to be removed to realize that what you're after doesn't even require a journey. There's no distant place where it's at. It's right here, right now, this minute. And we have to remove the actions that are blocking our view, our vision. We have to remove the items that cause us to think differently and see differently and believe differently than what truly is. So these three items are things we need to remove. And the removal of these three things will instantly make more opportunity and more money in your trading appear instantly. Just the removal of things. You see, one of the problems is that you are trying to keep all of your things and acquire the goal, when the first step has to be the removal of your things, and then the acquisition of the goal is automatic. We want to remain who we are. We want to stay uncorrected. We want to maintain our inferior state. We want to keep all of our erroneous beliefs. We want to maintain our lack of discipline. We don't want to put the work into the removing our flaws and our faults. We want to keep all of that and just go straight to the goal. When life does not work that way. The process first is to negate. The process first is to remove. The process first is to eliminate. And this process we have generally called improving who you are first. Changing who you are first. Altering who you are first before you can enter into the kingdom of profitability. Everyone wants the shortcut. Everyone, Oliver, can you just talk about how I make money? And people think I don't talk about that directly enough because I'm talking about improving yourself. When the removal of every flaw instantly makes you more profitable. With the removal of one demon, psychological demon, one emotional demon, instantly makes you more profitable. The removal of one fault instantly makes you more profitable. The removal of one erroneous belief that has you buying when you should be selling and has you selling when you should be buying makes you instantly profitable. The removal of things, the negation of things first make you automatically more profitable, make you automatically a better individual, make you automatically arrive at a higher state. Tell me you understand what I'm talking about. Does this make sense, my traders? the ones who are chatting with me right now. And the beautiful thing is that all of this is in your power. No one can stop you from working on you. You can be in a prison cell and no one can stop you from working on you. You can be in the crippling grips of slavery and no one can stop you from working on you. This is totally within your power to eliminate erroneous thoughts, to eliminate erroneous beliefs. To chop down and do away with a fault that you know. To go to work on a frailty systematically, ridding your life of it. We don't want to work this way. We don't want to negate. We don't want to eliminate. We want to keep everything. In the biblical sense, the saying, many of you know this, and I'm not talking about religion. I'm just talking about the deep meaning of a parable that basically said, this was attributed to Jesus of Nazareth saying, it is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter into the kingdom of heaven. Rich with your wrong ideas, rich with your erroneous beliefs, rich with your faults, rich with your demons, rich with all the baggage you've accumulated over the years, all the garbage, all the bad habits, rich with all of these things. And you want to enter into the kingdom rich with all of your things instead of first becoming naked again. The Garden of Eden, naked. Naked, symbolic of innocence, symbolic of not having baggage, of not being rich with your erroneous, faulty things. To become innocent again. And when you clothe yourself with all of these things which you have done for the vast majority of your life, it becomes difficult to get rid of them, becomes difficult to change. Change involves negation, the process of getting naked again, the process of eliminating this and removing that. We can't get the goal without first the elimination process. You can't be rich and enter the kingdom. You have to become poor again, which is just symbolic of negating all the things that should not be there. Going back to square one. If you are wrong 70% of the time in your trades, 7 times out of every 10 you have a losing trade. Doesn't it mean your belief system is absolutely backwards? That every time you think you should buy, you should sell, and every time you think you should sell, you should buy? That way you'd be 70% profitable. 70% wins, 30% losses. That can make you wealthy. If you are consistently 70% wrong, your whole belief system is upside down. But you want to keep it. And you want me to help you keep it and go directly into the land of profitability, into the kingdom, rich with your beliefs, your wrong beliefs. And I've got to strip you down. My first job is to strip you, to humble you, to knock you off this rich pedestal, to make you naked again. As scary of an image as that is. And it is only from this naked state that we can begin to progress and rebuild appropriately. You arrive at your goals through negation. You start with the elimination process. And so I say, let us begin. I call these three things stops. Just like protective stops in your trading, these are stops. And they're called stops because I want you to stop it. As I explain these things, I just want you to stop it. There's nothing else to say about it. Just stop it. There's no buts. No, just stop it. There's no, but what? No, just stop it. We're going to cut to the chase. No further explanation. You just stop it. Oliver, every time I put my hand in the fire, it hurts, it burns. Stop it. But, no. Stop it. Stop putting your hand in the fire. Stop it. Oliver, every time I bump my head up against a brick wall, I get a bump and it hurts. Stop it. Yes, but the brick wall, no. Stop it. There's no if, ands, buts, explanations. Just stop it. Just drop it instantly. You have the power to do that. Let's start. Stop number one. I want you to, and this is it's not the lighter of them. It's just the less mechanical of the other two categories. But to me, it's very important. Stop blaming things other than yourself. Stop that right now. I'm telling you, I want you to stop blaming your trading system. Trading, you did not trade when I helped trading system after trading system back in the late 80s and the early 90s get up to par. I worked on Archipelago. I worked on Real Tick. I worked on Cyber Trader that Charles Schwab eventually bought. I worked on Sterling. I worked on all of these platforms. I worked on Fusion. I worked on TradeStation. I worked on these platforms with these companies. They came to me when these platforms were a piece of junk. You have no clue of what a bad or faulty platform is. They don't exist today. We have advanced so dramatically in the platform space that you no longer have an excuse to blame your trading platform. I don't care who has the platform. Stop blaming your trading platform. I am tired of hearing it. I'm tired of hearing losing traders blame the platform. And you know what? To be honest with you, I'm tired of answering that question 280 times a day. Oliver, what platform is that? Oliver, what platform are you on? As if the platform is the answer. No, the platform is an extension of me. The platform doesn't trade, I trade. I send my orders through the platform. The platform is my conduit. It doesn't have a life. It derives its life from me. I'm the most important ingredient in this equation, not the platform. Dude, you could give me a telephone, not even a cell phone. You could give me a rotary phone. Remember those where you had to dial? That's one number. And then dial the second number. You could give me a rotary phone. You could take me all the way back to the 80s where I had to dial my broker and get him off the phone with somebody else to place my trade. And I will still outtrade most of you guys with your so-called bad trading systems. There is no excuse today to shift your lack of talent, your ill-formed ways onto your trading platform. Stop it. It's not the platform, dude. It's you. Let's just suck it up and deal with that. No platform is perfect. We understand that, and will never be. No piece of technology will ever be perfect. Don't look for that. And you got traders out here switching from platform to platform to platform every few weeks. Meanwhile, they're the worst users of whatever platform you're going to place in their hands. Stop it. Stop blaming your quotes. I'm tired of hearing traders, but the quotes are slow and this and that. You don't know what slow quotes are. You don't know what trading in the dark is. You lose your connection for a few seconds and you lose your mind. About losing them for half a day. What about your system freezing while you have $4.5 million on the line and you can't get anybody because there are so many other firms calling for the same problem that you can't even get through? You don't have those issues. I went through those issues. I have lost hundreds of thousands of dollars in a single day because of issues like that. Stop blaming your trading system. Stop blaming your quotes. Stop blaming your executions. You don't know what slow executions are. You get filled a minute late. You find out where you're filled a minute later, you lose your mind. That's nothing compared to what we had to deal with back in the day. I'm not saying these things are perfect. I'm not saying that sometimes your quotes are not off. I'm not saying that sometimes your trading platform needs a little bit of tweaking. They need to update it a little bit. It needs to be a little bit more efficient. I'm not saying that your executions can't be better. What I'm saying is that you are far more of an enemy to yourself than all of these things combined times 1,000. You are your worst enemy. You should be, if you're scared of something and you want to change your trading system, you be better off changing yourself. You want to change the quote system, you're better off changing yourself. Stop blaming market makers. You're too small time for market makers to be gunning after your orders. But the market makers will stop you out and then take your orders and that. I hear it all the time. It's just asinine. Who do you think you are? You're not Warren Buffett out there. Of course, they'd love to squeeze a Warren Buffett. They'd love to squeeze a trader who's got $20 million on the line and he's caught. But your 200 shares? Your 2,000 shares even? You got to give me a break. Stop blaming market makers. Stop blaming your quotes. Stop blaming your trading system. Stop blaming your trading firm. It may not be the best, but trust me, you're far worse than your trading firm. I can guarantee that. There are more problems with you than with your trading firm. Stop blaming the firm you're with. Stop blaming. And as a matter of fact, when you hear someone doing that, trust me when I tell you, you will be right more than 80% of the time by saying that guy's a losing trader. Winning traders don't complain about this stuff. Winning traders, yes, they want everything to improve. That will never stop. But they don't sit around, I should change my trading system. Oh, this sucks. I should move over here. Does anybody know a better broker? Does anybody know something with a better trading platform, better quotes, better this, better that? Meanwhile, they want to stay the same. You want to improve everything else except yourself. There is an old adage. I've spoken about this before. I don't know where it is. It's rather ancient, but a grandfather wanted to take his two grandsons out. He felt he was going to die. He wanted to spend some quality time with them, took them into the mountains to spend a weekend in a cave. As the grandfather fell asleep late one night telling stories, the three grandsons were startled and by some noise outside. To make a long story short, the grandfather was awakened by the three. Granddad, there's something really spooky outside. We're afraid it's making these growling noises or whatever. And the grandfather's message was, my dear sons, go back to sleep, for there is nothing more frightening in this world than yourselves. When you get older, you'll understand that you are your worst enemy. You are your biggest monster. Fear who you are right now and work furiously on changing that. Everything else is secondary to that. Your trading firm, your quotes, the market makers, your trading system, it's secondary to you and what you believe, what you do, your habits, your faults. Far greater, far more important than these things. So stop it. Again, none of these things are perfect, but you are your worst enemy. And so stop blaming. When you see someone blaming everything except themselves, when you see someone out there talking about the platform, talking about the quotes, talking about the inefficiency of this, talking about that, trust me, they're removing blame from themselves, their worst enemy, onto something else. It's the easy thing to do. And psychologically, it takes the person off the hook. When you start to talk about the failings of something else, you are now off the hook. Your ego says, phew, glad the light is not on me anymore. And it's an excuse not to change, an excuse not to focus, an excuse not to go to work on this central issue. All right, so I got that general, non-technical one out of the way. That's stop number one. Stop blaming. Now let's delve into two technical stops, I call them. These are specific technical things that if you stop, your trading is going to instantly, not gradually, instantly take a jump. I promise you this. I think you probably hear that thing. I can't stop these people from talking on this chat room. Guys, if you are listening to my radio show, will you stop typing in these rooms, please? Oh my God. Let me disconnect this. I think I can do it. Okay, I think that's better. Okay, guys. Stop number two. Okay, stop number two. Stop losing more than your average winning trade. Please write that down. Make it real for yourself and write it down. Stop losing more than your average winning trade. Stop it. Now the importance of this can be missed. You understand? Let's not miss the importance of this. All right? Let's not miss the importance of this. Most traders don't even know what their average winning trade is. And that, my friends, is travesty number one. How can you possibly improve yourself if you do not know two numbers? What's my average winning trade and what's my average losing trade? You can't start. There's no starting place if you don't know this. Do you know how many millions upon millions of traders who are operating in the markets every day who have no clue of any one of these two numbers? Traders, I am telling you right now, if you are operating in the markets without this number written down, without these two numbers written down, I guarantee you're a losing trader. Every successful trader knows what their average winning trade is and their average losing trade is. They may be at a point in their path of success that they don't need to write it down, but they know it. They may not have it down to the penny, but they know it. Shoot, when I lose, my losing days are generally $1,200. My winning days are generally $4,500. They know it. You've got to know what your average winning trade is. Your average winning trade is and your average losing trade. So let me tell you what you do to get that now, because I know the vast majority of you listening to me don't know it. I want you to go back and I want you to take one of two numbers. You can do 10 or the last 20. I suggest you do the last 20 trades, but you can do the last 10. Make it a little easier on yourself. Take the last 10 to 20 trades. All right? But remember, we're talking about the last 10 to 20 winning trades. If you're taking 10, I want you to add up all the games. The last 10 winning trades, how much money combined did the last 10 winning trades make you? Now divide that by 10. Or if you're going to do 20, take the last 20 winning trades. How much money did these 20 winning trades make? Add them up. You got 20 numbers. Now take that sum and divide it by 20. That's your average winning trade. Do the same for your losing trades. Take the last 10 losing trades or the last 20 losing trades. Your choice. I'm okay with both numbers. Prefer 20, but I'm okay with the 10. How much did the last 10 losing trades, not the break-evens, not the wins, the last losing trades, how much in total did they lose? Divide that by 10. If you do 20, how much did the last 20 losing trades lose? Take the sum of that entire loss, divide by 20. And now you have your two numbers. Now, if you are not profitable, obviously, the average losing trade will be more sizable than the average winning trade. That's what a losing trader is. Or that's one of the central components of a losing trader. It's not the only thing. Lack of consistency can be an only thing as well. This is why I like 20 more than 10. It gets around the consistency item. Okay. Now, once you have these two numbers, and let's say your average losing trade is $300. Your average losing trade is $300 and your average winning trade is $100. Okay? Those are common numbers. Once you have these numbers, you can systematically go to work. Now, what do you work on? First, the first goal is to work on cutting your average losing trade in half. Average losing trade is 300. Let's work on making the average losing trade 150. All right, beautiful. First goal, you got to know that number first before you have your project. Now, your project is to not change anything else except this one thing. Listen to me carefully. Your job is not to try to trade better. Trade exactly how you've been trading. You don't need to change a single thing. Just for the next 10 trades, whenever a trade is losing, don't worry about it. Just watch the number And when it gets close to 150, kill it. And then give yourself a little star. Go buy a sundae. Go have a glass of wine. Treat yourself. You just cut your average losing trade in half. Now, start again. Next trade you get into, if it starts losing, just watch that number. Don't worry, what mistakes did I make? What did I do wrong? No, forget that. Don't worry about that. I just want you to watch the losing number. And when that losing number says, okay, I'm down $70 now I'm down $80, when it gets close to 150, kill it. And then give yourself another gold star. Go buy a sundae. Get a glass of wine. Go treat yourself. You just cut your average losing trade in half again. And do that again. And do that again. And try to get to 10 times in a row. And I promise you, when you reach 10 times, it's going to hit you. Oh my God. Look at my wins. Wow. They're going to sneak up on you. Your improvement is going to sneak up on you. You know why? Because you found improvement through negation. See, you were trying to find improvement directly and you found it indirectly. You found it by removing half of your losses. Whoa. You didn't find it by increasing your wins. Winners, no. You didn't try to improve your accuracy. No. You didn't try anything except one thing. Let me get rid of half of my losses. Negation. And your winners are going to smack you in the face. Where did you come from? Oh, shoot. Baby, look at how I did this week. Look, my trading progress is improving. You weren't even focused on improving anything. You were just focused on eliminating something. You follow what I'm saying here? All right? You follow what I'm saying? So just don't, if your average losing trade is 100, then the number for you is 50. Try to do that 10 times in a row. Don't try to improve your trading. No, just watch any losing number and make sure it does not reach more than $50 if your average losing trade is 100. Whatever the number is, the first goal is 1/2. Cut it in half. All right? Now, if you have successfully cut it in half and that number is still bigger than your average winning trade, then you have to cut it to now match your average winning trade. That's goal number 2. So if by cutting your average losing trade in half successfully, if by doing that successfully, that number is still bigger than your average winning trade, the goal number 2 is to now cut whatever your average. So let's say, for instance, let me give you an example. Let's say, for instance, your average winning trade is 100. Your average losing trade is 300. You cut the average losing trade down to 150, but your average winning trade is 100. You're still a loser. You've improved dramatically, but you're still a loser. So now the goal number 2 is I won't ever allow my losing trade to go beyond my average winning trade. So now $100 is your goal. You've cut it successfully from 300 to 150, now 50 to 100. Now do that 10 times. Just don't improve anything. Don't work on anything else. Just work on watching the negative number. And just say, okay, I'm down $20. Okay, I'm down $30. Okay, I'm down $40. When you get close to 100, kill it. And give yourself a gold star, have a glass of wine, reward yourself. And watch your progress soar. I mean, it's going to be exponential. It's going to smack you in the face so hard, you're going to feel that there's some magic inside of this. No magic. You're just removing the paint off the window or the dirt off the window that was obscuring what's always been there. You didn't have to go out and build the scenery. You just had to remove what was blocking the scenery. You didn't have to go out and create more gains. You had to remove what was blocking the gains that are already there. You don't have to grow more roses. You just have to eliminate the weeds that were choking the roses. The roses are fine. We're out there trying to outrun our problems. We want to keep the problems, but outrun them. Isn't it easier just to kill them? Cut them in half? You know, here's this 6-foot powerful dude that wants to fight you. What if you could cut him in half? Now he's a 3-foot dude who wants to fight you. You follow what I'm saying? Dude, you better run home to mom. You're 3 feet tall. So it's too much to, many of you are out there trying to eliminate all of your problems. Why not cut them in half? Half a problem is a lot more manageable than all of it. And it's the easier step to make. It's the quicker path to seeing progress. Shoot, man, I've got to scale this 10-foot wall. Man, how am I going to do that? Cut the wall in half. Now, I've got to hop over this 5-foot wall. That's pretty easy. Cut your problems in half. Don't bite off so much that it's just, you're probably going to give up before you see any progress. It's too much to tackle the whole thing. Cut it in half. And even that is going to show dramatic progress. Step 2, after cutting in half, as I've just explained to you, is to match your average winning trade. Do not let any losing trade become more than your average winning trade. Now you're close to a break-even trader. Do you know that as far as I'm concerned, if you're a break-even trader, you're a winning trader? You can go into the shark-infested waters of the market, the financially traded market, where you're pitting yourselves against some of the brightest minds with billions of dollars and huge technology, who want nothing more than to take your life away instantly. To go into this shark-infested environment and to come out with all of your limbs and every piece of clothing, every dollar, every asset you went in there with deep into the territory and came out whole. You didn't came out with anything more, but you came out whole. Like, oh, he's back and he's okay. Dude, you look great. What happened? You didn't get beat up. There's no scratches. There's no scars. There's nothing. You're a winner as far as I'm concerned. You go into enemy territory and you come out looking just like you went in, that's a win. All right, now, of course, the goal is to get to the place where you go in and come out with more than you went in with. And we're going to get there. But don't think break even is something bad. That's a beautiful thing. 92% of the people are not break even. Wish they were break even. Once you have reached the point where you do not allow any losing trade to exceed your average winning trade, now we can work on the winners. Then start work on raising your average win. Create a distance from, don't change the loss. Keep the loss there. Keep your average loss right there. Then we go to work on beefing up the winning side. You see, you're trying to beef up the winning side before you shrink the losing side. That is impossible. Traders, listen to me. It's impossible. You can't do it the other way. You can't keep your faults that create these big losses. You can't keep that and outpace that with bigger wins. That's what you're trying to do. You're trying to grow your wins bigger. You're trying to grow your wins more frequently to outpace your problems. But no, cut your problems in half, then move them to equal to your wins. Then go to work on your winning trades, I'm sorry. This is the process of negation. Not this. Not 300. Not 150. 100. That's good. Now, let me get the 100 win up. Let me get that to 120. How do you work on your winners? Don't take a winner at your average. Always take it more than your average. Start off with 10 or 20% more. Make the break-even line more than your average. If your average winning trade throughout all of this process was $100, now $100 doesn't constitute a winning trade. $120 constitutes a winning trade. I've got $105. Nope, that's not even break even in your mind. 120 is a winning trade. That's how you up your winning side now. You refuse to take what was your old average. And watch what that refusal will do for your trading. Don't do that step before you do the negation step. I'm telling you, it is impossible. It does not work. And all you're going to do is exasperate your losing trades. You must first eliminate your weeds, then improve the health of your roses. Improving the health of your roses without the weeds which choke your roses will be for naught. All of that effort is for naught. What benefit is it to make a rose more beautiful if it's only just going to be choked? The weed says, he just made the rose more beautiful. Now I'm going to choke a more beautiful rose. Choke. Right? It's like plumping up your chickens for the foxes to eat. The fox says, oh, this made the chicken a little fatter for me, more fulfilling. No, eliminate the foxes first, then fatten up your chickens. Don't reward the foxes with fatter chickens, healthier chickens. Adrian in the radio chat room says he's been break even for 4 months and still can't take off. That is, oh my goodness. Adrian, are you in store for blast off? We should just start celebrating now. Daryl has it right. Dude, you're on your way. Just stay there. Don't rush it. Just stay there. Something magical happens at the break-even stage. It's happening underneath. You can't see it because you're break-even. It's not manifesting itself on the outer space yet. But every break-even trade inches you closer to the surface. Every time you break even, you get closer to the surface. You're under this sheet of ice. The ice is above you. And every break-even trade just inches you closer until you crack the ice. When that ice is cracked and you go through the ceiling of ice, you'll find that what was the ceiling is now your floor. Dude, the break-even state is a wonderful state. Appreciate it. Love it. Embrace it. I don't care if it lasts for another 4 months. It's creating magic. All right. So this is all involved in stop number 2, traders. And these steps are the process of arriving at a higher state through negation by removing what is clearly not what you're after. Removing your weeds and then working on beautifying your roses. All right. Stop number 3. Remember, stop number 1 was stop blaming. All right, get that loser blaming thing out of here, please. Don't come to me with it. Stop boring your friends with it. Stop blaming. Not only are you a loser, you look like a loser and you feel like a loser to everyone listening to you. Stop it. Nothing's perfect. You're the most imperfect thing of all. Now, once you stop blaming that, now start working on yourself with stop number 2. Find out that average winning trade. Find out that average losing trade. Cut that average losing trade in half. Do it 10 times in a row. You slip up, you got to start again. I want 10 in a row. Once you go 10 in a row, now match your loser to your average loser to your average winner. Don't ever let a losing trade for 10 trades in a row go past your average winning trade. When you've done that 10 times in a row, if you miss one, you start it off. Be honest with yourself. This is how you grow. Cheating is only cheating yourself. And then, once you've accomplished step 2, step 3 in this process is to increase your winning trades. Now let's beautify the roses. Let's make them more beautiful, because a $100 rose is beautiful, but a $120 rose is more beautiful. Now let's beautify the roses now. All right? What significant other doesn't want a $120 rose versus a $100 rose. Now, don't take a win. Don't pluck a $100 rose anymore. Only pluck a minimum of 120. So when your rose grows to 120, then you have a right to pluck it. I would jump 20% at a time. Get yourself 10 wins in a row of 120 or greater. 20% higher than your average. Be disciplined enough not to take your average. Now, I saw a question here earlier in the chat, which I think was a good question. And someone said, Oliver, aren't all questions good? No. All questions are not good. I don't buy that. Never did buy that. I didn't buy that when I was a kid. There's no such thing as a bad question. Oh, yes, there is. There's no such thing as a stupid question. Oh, I get them every day. I'm sorry. I don't buy that. There are stupid questions. That was a good question here asked today. The question was, well, Oliver, what about the winning trades what about the trades that go winners and then turn to losers? Do I let that just drop? That is a different scenario. That's a different problem that is outside of the scope of our talk today. But if you are letting $120 roses, I'm using that metaphorically as an example. It's, your rose size might be 500. All right. I'm just using that because I'm staying consistent with my example. So if you're allowing your $120 roses, your $120 winning trades, to go all the way negative to 100 down, so meaning you have lost $220 now. You've lost not only the $120 gain, but you've lost the $100 negative too, gone past it by 100. That is a completely different problem. That is something we fix with a break-even rule adjustment. When do you move the sell point from $100 loss to break even in your during your trade? That's a system or a trading approach talk, which we're not talking about, but we can at some time in the future. But no, you should not be allowing $120 wins to turn into $100 losses. You should not be doing that. Stop number 3. Stop being all over the place. I'm going to repeat this. Stop being all over the place. Now, there are 3 specific things that fall under stop number 3. 3 specific things I'm going to tell you to stop and adjust. Item number 1, stop trading a zillion different tactics and techniques. This is one of the clearest signs that you are a novice who knows absolutely nothing. You're trading this approach. Now you're trading another approach. You're trading this tactic. Now you're trading another tactic. You're trading this technique. Now you're trading another technique. You're tweaking this. You're tweaking that. You're moving to this. You're moving to that. You're moving so frequently you will never take root and grow. I want you to limit yourself to 2 to 3 things. 2 to 3 things that you trade, not 2 to 3 techniques or tactics or patterns. If you are a technical trader, 2 to 3. My traders will say, okay, I'll trade elephant bars, I'll trade tail bars, and I'll trade 180s. My traders know what those terms mean. Focus on specialization. Specialize and stay there for a while. Perfect your ability to identify these 2 or 3 opportunities that you have mapped out ahead of your trading. Know what constitutes a buy and know what constitutes a sell. Have only 2 or 3 things that constitute a buy or a sell. Don't have 15 different things. Dude, you can't even do one yet, and you've got 15. You're trying this approach, then you're mixing it up by trying another approach, and you've heard about this technique, and now you're mixing it up and trying it with another technique, and this tactic, another tactic. Stop being all over the place. 2 to 3 and stay there. I don't care if you're getting the worst results. Remember, the results are not what you work on first. You work through negation. You work on cutting the losses in half. It doesn't matter if your tactics are wrong or faulty. You can have the worst tactic in the world. That's not your problem. The problem is that you're not cutting your losses from that faulty tactic. Listen, even a faulty tactic has winning trades. Has to. Your trade's going to go up or down just by the law of mathematics. A faulty tactic cannot prevent winning trades. Just by mathematics. If there were 187 possibilities, a faulty tactic could lose almost every time. But there's only 2 possibilities, a win or a loss. And because there's only 2, the worst tactic in the world will have its fair share of wins and losses. The problem is not your tactic. The problem's you when your tactic doesn't work. So you're trying to tinker with the tactic, perfect it, change it, search for new tactics. That's dumb. You can have the best tactic in the world, the most accurate tactic on earth. That tactic will have its fair share of losses simply because that's life in the market. And it will do you no good if you do not, through negation, limit your losses with the process I just explained to you. Your problem is not the tactics, the techniques, the strategies. How many emails do you get a day? Learn my number 1 technique for making a fortune in the market in 2 seconds. BS. Learn how to control yourself and stop your weeds from choking any roses that are just automatically going to show up. Roses automatically show up because there's only 2 possibilities, up or down. You don't even need skill to get a set of roses. Just simply, that's like saying, dude, wait a minute. You flipped a coin and you got heads? Yeah, and you act all proud. Yeah, I got heads, man. Oh my God, how did you develop that skill? Where did you go study? Did you study with Oliver Velez? He taught you how to get a heads when you flip a coin? What books did you read? What seminars did you go for? Can you tell me what seminars you went to learn how to get heads? Dude, there's no skill. Just flip enough, you're going to get some roses and you're going to get some bad trades. It's how you handle the bad ones to not allow them to choke the good ones that you're automatically going to get as a skill-less trader. You will have wins as without 0 skill. Good tactics give you a tiny, tiny edge. It's tiny. You understand? It gives you a tiny edge. Yes, but it's smaller than you really think it is. The number one thing you can do is negate. The number one thing you can do is chop down your losses. That is far more powerful than searching for a better technique. Keep your technique. Hell, don't even work on your technique. Just work on being the axe man or the axe woman. Don't let a problem get past 3 feet. You're not threatened by somebody 3 feet that wants to beat you up, are you? Keep them contained to that, you know what, little 3 feet man, just go run home before you get hurt. Just keep them at that level and you'll be fine. Then, once you have them at that level, then you can go work on, okay, let me tighten up my technique a little bit. Let me get a better one or whatever. But that is the smaller part of the formula. The industry would have you believe that it's the biggest part. Oh, your problem is that you're trading with the wrong set of techniques. You have the wrong strategies. Buy mine. Buy my course, buy my seminar, buy my book. Subscribe to my service. When all you have to do is cut your losses in half. Dude, I could have a seminar and just say that line and say, okay, done. Thank you very much. Here's my greatest advice. To instantly and dramatically improve your trading, cut your losses in half. Find out your average losing trade and cut it in half. Okay, seminar over. I have just exponentially improved your trading if you do that. Seminar done. Thank you. That is more powerful than anything. Crazy, no? Stop placing undue importance on techniques and tactics. I'm not saying they have zero importance, but keep them to a minimum, 2, 3, and then work on containing your losses. Stop being all over the place. Stop searching for the holy grail in a technique and a tactic, a strategy. You know what? Mike Tyson was asked before one of his big fights, you know, Mike Tyson, Iron Mike, we hear that your opponent has been planning to do this against you and that against you, and his plan is to beat you this way. And Mike Tyson, in typical fashion, responded by saying, everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face. Classic Iron Mike. Everyone's got a plan until they get punched in the face. But what's their plan after that? It's like, oh, shoot. Wow, that hurt. So, the name of the game is not to find a better technique. It's don't get punched in the face. Get pinched, get plucked, but don't get punched in the face. That can end you. All right. Item 2 under stop 3. Remember, item 1 was Stop being all over the place with your techniques and your tactics and your strategies. 2 to 3, and just keep doing them over and over again. Don't even try to improve them. Remember, the improvement comes through negation. Item number 2, stop trading anything and everything, please. Stop chasing the flavor of the day. Stop watching your ticker show what's in play. Stop that novice nonsense. Stop searching chat rooms for what everyone's talking about. Stop listening to the news to find out what could be the most traded item or what could be up more than something else or down more. Stop this. This is all novice stuff. When you do that, I know instantly you're a novice. I know instantly you're a loser. I know instantly you have no clue. Narrow to 5 things you trade every day. Don't go less than 3 things, and don't go more than 10. I say 5 is the perfect number. In truth, I trade one thing. I don't want you to do that. I'm different. Okay? But I don't encourage the trading of one item only. That I don't encourage. But I don't encourage a billion items either. I encourage intimacy. You can gain intimacy with 5 things that you visit every day. 5 things that are with you every day. 5 family members that live with you every single trading day of your life. You learn their idiosyncrasies, their characteristics, how they move during certain news oriented events, how they respond to various situations. You get a feel for the players, when the big players are stepping in, when the big players are not stepping in. Your finger is on the pulse of these things. Don't be a foreigner coming to a brand new land thinking you're going to take over. Don't be that idiotic. Stop trading this day, that day, something else the other day. Oh, this Jim Cramer mentioned. Oh, this is up big today. Wow. This is gap down really big. This has more volume today than any other stock out there. This has just been featured on the news. My God, you cannot be more of a loser than that. That's one of the signs that all of us professionals, immediately that's a losing trader. No intimacy, no feel, no edge. Imagine you've gained an interest in trading poker for money. Playing poker for money. And you search around and you find a game. This game has been in existence behind closed doors, behind some dark pool hall, in some hidden room that is guarded by, you would think that it is Fort Knox. It's guarded by a thick iron door and a big giant 350-pound guy with sunglasses on that looks like he's an overweight Men in Black standby. You have to enter into this room only if someone knows you have a right to enter in this room. And they welcome you into this room. You don't know a single person. You've heard about somebody. You've heard about the game. They let you in. These people have known each other for 20 years. They've been playing in this spot for 20 years. And they let you in. Why? You're unfamiliar with anyone there. You're unfamiliar with the antics that they play, the angles that they play, the style with which they play. You don't know the place. You don't know the players. You don't know how deep their pockets are. And you don't know the games they play. And you go there with your hard-earned family's fortune and expect not to get everything taken from you? Dude, that door locks behind you and you will not leave until you have emptied your pockets of every single thing you brought there. That 300-pound guy at the door won't open the door until you keep playing and have lost everything. You will not be able to leave that room with a single dollar. You'll be held captive. This is akin to going into something you have never seen before in your life. It's just on the news. And then the next day, something else. No familiarity. You're not there every day. You don't know the terrain. You don't know the players. You don't know their antics. You don't know, you have zero feel. And you think this is intelligent play. These people are not there to give up their money to you. They're there to take your money. You had better have the edge. And you do not have the edge by entering something to trade that you have zero familiarity with. Don't be a foreigner with a wad of cash, because you will leave the room empty-handed. I promise you. Eric is asking me, is it better to start with Forex or trading? You start with anything you want to. It is the work on you that's the important thing. The item really doesn't matter the item doesn't matter as much. But whatever you do, don't just trade one thing. That's the point I'm saying. But I'm also saying don't trade a million things either. 5. Gain intimacy with 5 things. And be reluctant to change. Don't trade 5 new things every week. That's negating the process. That's refuting everything I'm trying to get you to accomplish here. Professionals don't do this, guys. Professionals trade the same things over and over. That's where their edge comes from. Their comfort level. Their confidence. Their certainty. Stop. Stop looking all over the place. Stop getting distracted from the one thing that matters. Stop looking at the overall market. Stop it today, traders. Stop looking at whether the market's up or down. Stop looking at whether the market's moving. Stop looking at whether the market's negative or positive. This does not help you. It hurts you. I hear it all the time. But wait a minute. What's the market doing? You know what that question means? That question is nothing more than an excuse for you not to do what you're supposed to do. You're asking what the market's doing because you probably have been stopped out. But wait a minute. Should I take it? Let's see if the market... I got stopped out on my long, but the market's going up. Maybe I won't take my stop. You use all of these things. You clothe them in beautiful sounding language, but you use them to hurt yourself. Stop moving away from your battle time frame. If you trade off the 2-minute chart like I do, then don't leave the 2-minute chart. Stop looking at the daily chart. Stop looking at the 15-minute chart. Stop looking at the 5-minute chart. Stop looking at the market. Stop looking at another stock. Stay right there. If your maximum loss, you're cutting to $150, what does looking at the market will do for you? What will it do for you? Change it from 150 to more? Your actions are predefined. What does this stuff do? Except entice you to change your actions, your predefined actions. You are going through the negation process where you won't lose, you won't allow a loss to go beyond 150. What the overall market is doing, how will that affect anything? How will that improve anything? Except get you confused, tie you in knots, cause you to suffer from paralysis through analysis. What will another time frame do but give you an excuse not to do something? Stop it. Stay anchored with your trading window, your trading time frame. Stay where you are. You have predefined your actions. If you hit that 150, you kill it. That's predefined. Nothing. Don't allow anything to creep in and change or entice you to alter your predefined promises to yourself. Keep your promises. You've heard me say it before. If you can't keep your own promises, how can you keep the promises to your wife, your children, your church, your community at large? How can you be a full man or woman of dignity, of principle, if you can't keep your own promises? Everything starts with you. I tell my children all the time, don't buy this notion of being good to others before you're good to yourself. Give others a better you than you are right now. Stop focusing on others. Stop this nonsense that you have to be some philanthropic individual that focuses on everyone else's needs. That's the mindset of the poor. Let people call you selfish. Work on yourself first. Improve yourself first. Invest in yourself first at the expense of everyone else. Let them call you names. Let them call you selfish. Let your family members write you off, because trust me, they will all show up with cakes in hand and little small trinkets of gifts at your doorstep once you become better, once you rise, once you shine. When you begin to grow from you focusing on you, then you can give a higher you. You can give a better you. You can give a more improved you. You are more valuable to someone after your selfishness, not before your selfishness. My name is Oliver Velez, and I am your trader for life.